Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis content de rejoindre nous là dans l'autre épisode Strive 305 en créole. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Aujourd'hui, nous avons un bel invité avec nous qui parle un paquet d'informations sur real estate. Mais avant que je m'arrive là, je m'introduis nous à co-host Naed Jasmin.
Bonsoir tout le monde, on plaisir encore pour nous capable avec nous aujourd'hui. Et puis, nous avons porté bon ingent information pour nous pour le secteur real estate. Là, on connaît qu'un pile monde qui est intéressé à ce secteur ça. Et je vais profiter de présenter nous invité que nous avons pour aujourd'hui. Donc, c'est Kayla Revelus. Et Kayla lui-même, c'est un entrepreneur dans le secteur real estate là, mais c'est un monde qui est vraiment tout impliqué dans la communauté. Donc, lui fait partie de Haitian Real Estate Professional Association. Et puis tout, il fait partie d'une organisation qui pigo toujours, qui c'est Miami Association of Realtors. Et lui, c'est seul membre qui fait partie du conseil d'administration qui c'est Haitian. Donc, Kayla a bougé, il a fait formation et nous avons plus opportunités pour nous entendre plus sur lui-même, qui est lié, comment il est rentré dans le secteur et qui ça que il gagne comme activité qui a venu. Bonsoir Kayla, nous comptons avec vous.
Bonsoir. Thank you ladies so much for having me. Good afternoon everyone, good morning or good night. Despite where you're watching from, I am honored to be here with you ladies. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform to bring the information to our community. And hopefully from this, they'll have great information so that they could start their real estate investing career, or they can get into real estate, or just learn about the market, or just be inspired to do something. Because I believe that the Lord has instilled specific traits, characteristics in us, and we all serve a divine purpose. And sometimes we just need to hear that one word that activates it. So thank you so much. Merci en pile.
That one word, we want to hear a little bit about you. You know, what brought you into this? What
3 words.
Oh, you want to do the 3 words first? Sorry, my boss is saying I got to get 3 words first. So before we get to you, can you give me 3 words that describe you as a person?
3 words. So faith-based, that's a word.
We'll say faithful, there you go.
Or faithful, okay.
Yeah.
Faithful, faith-based, that's 1 word. Determined is another word. And visionary.
I like it.
I like that.
Yeah, I know you like that.
So what would you tie with, you just describe yourself, but like the 3 main values that leads you in life?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I am a child of God. You know, I'm rooted with Christ. He orders my steps. Even as I was commuting here, I said to myself, Lord, continue to order my steps and speak with my vocal cords. Let what you want me to project to the world, let that come out. So my driving force, of course, is the Word of God and having a relationship with Christ. And secondly, like I mentioned, I'm a visionary. So ever since I was a young little girl, I would always dream big and think about like grandiose things. I've never thought of anything on a small level.
Good girl.
Yet never. I don't know. It's just never been a part of my genetic makeup at all. So whatever I'm doing, I always have the future in mind and how it could be a generational impact, because I believe that one of my purpose here is to create an impact. I don't believe that it's a coincidence that we're here today, that we're having this connection. And I remember my mom, she passed away, so that's something we share in common. She used to always say, Kayla fait tout bagay ou droite. And that resonated with me. So I'm a woman of integrity. That's very important to me. So having my relationship with Christ, being a visionary and doing things with the future in mind, like my future children, the generations to come, and being a woman of integrity is very important, and collaborating, of course.
Yeah, I love that. So now, boss, if I can, I want to hear a little bit more about your journey and what led you into real estate, because obviously you're doing amazing things in real estate and opening doors. So I want to know what brought you into that field, what called to you there.
So, Ever since I was young, I used to love watching millionaire listings. I don't know if you guys used to watch it on Bravo.
And I hate to say that I watched it as an adult. I wasn't very young.
It's very, it's aspirational, like dream big, you know, the homes that you would put on your vision board. So ever since I was young, I loved watching it. And right after graduate school, God led me. I never thought in a million years that I would be working at a real estate brokerage. So I thought I would be working for one of the, like in corporate America with one of the Fortune 500 companies, doing something in business because I did study abroad. So I have a master's in international business. But the Lord led me to a boutique brokerage in North Miami that is owned and operated by Jean-Marc Sorel.
Yeah.
So I started there as his coordinator, and I remember he was expanding, and he was expanding to Broward County. He said, Kayla, if you're going to manage, he was going to promote me to be the manager of that firm. If you're going to manage my Broward office, you need to get your real estate license. So then I said, okay. So he sponsored my license to real estate school. And then since then, I've just been thriving and growing and just creating an impact in South Florida real estate. Yeah.
I love that.
Interesting. So, Kayla, nous connaissons pas le d'autres informations parce que le secteur real estate là, on connaît que les gens viennent ici. Premier bagage qu'ils ont besoin, c'est toujours ils ont besoin d'acheter un caille.
Oui.
Est-ce que qu'on a considéré que marché sont marché qui facile pour mon acheter dans moment ça et qui conseille comme si on était bail pour mon justement qui a cherché acheter un caille dans moment ça.
Very, very good. Oui. So, Kounia, conseil que m'ka bay moun qui intéressé pour acheter caille, c'est Kounia c'est un bon moment pour acheter un caille. Why is that? When you look at the economy and when you look at the market, it's what's called a buyer's market. So a buyer's market is typically whenever there is about 4 to 5 months of inventory, meaning there's a lot of homes for sale. So when you see that, then that lets you know that is a buyer's market. In a buyer's market, it's very advantageous to buy because a lot of the sellers are motivated and they want to sell. So as a buyer's agent like myself, we this gives us leverage to negotiate. I recently had a closing on a transaction. I helped one of my buyers purchase in Delray, and I was able to negotiate $23,000. Seller's concession, meaning at the closing table, he paid $23,000 less to purchase that home. And with that money, he's going to put a new metal roof on his home. So it does help. You know, another transaction that I had, I was able to decrease the purchase price by $20,000 through negotiation. I do have a certification from the National Association of Realtors, designation that's called Real Estate Negotiation Expert. So I'm able to use those skill sets to effectively negotiate different terms for my buyers so that they can buy something. My team, our philosophy is we don't want you to be house rich and cash poor. So we always have your budget in mind, we have your future in mind, and we look at the numbers, we look at data to help support the decision that you're going to make. Because we believe that home ownership is your birthright. Whether it's your first property or you're looking to invest, it's your birthright, and we have the tools to help you to get there. So we're here to help you. To answer your question, oui, kounya c'est un bon temps pour acheter un caille parce que it's a buyer's market et puis nous ka aider négocier prix caille là ou bien concessions pour acheter caille là.
So South Florida has seen a significant shift in real estate, and there's been a lot of activity that's been happening, whether it be people buying properties or you seeing the migration of the native Miamians moving, further up north. So what areas would you say right now are sort of the hotbed for real estate, or where would you recommend that people start looking into if they're looking into buying?
That's a really great question. So it's really based upon the person's preference and their profile. What I typically tell people is that your first home is your starter home. It's not your forever home. So if at this moment you're pre-approved for a certain amount and you cannot buy in South Florida, that's okay that you go outside of South Florida, but then you can always come back when your finances has changed and you could purchase somewhere else. So for example, a person that's looking to buy their first home, if their budget is under like $500,000, can they buy a single family home in Miami-Dade County? It really depends on where. Florida City, which is developing a lot right now, you can buy a very beautiful 3-4 bedroom home under that and within that budget of $500,000 or under. Now, if you're looking for Miami Beach or North Miami or North Miami Beach, the price points there are significantly higher. You would need something in the $650,000 range. Another thing is, as I mentioned earlier, going back to the person's profile and based upon what their goals are, because during our consultation, we always ask, what is your goal? What is the end goal? What is your budget? It helps us to create a customized strategy plan so that we can assist you in accomplishing that goal. And the reason being, if you're looking to be a real estate investor, we have what's called our triple threat program, where you can become a homeowner, a landlord, and an investor simultaneously. How do you accomplish that?
Yeah.
You accomplish that by purchasing a multifamily, because you're going to live in one unit and you're going to rent out the other units. And during that process, what we do is market research to see how much the rents are in those certain areas. And portions of the rent, 75% of the rent, is going to be added on to your income, which helps you to qualify for more. So there's a strategy behind what we do. That's why we do consultations, to better understand what is your profile, what is your goal, and how we could further assist you, and then help you to determine which neighborhood. Because another thing, if you're pre-approved for $300,000 in South Florida, no. But there are other markets such as Southwest Florida, the Lehigh Acres. You can buy a new construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, 1,500, 1,600 square feet for $330,000. So the market is really night and day, or you can go up to Central Florida. So we have different strategies in place. We just have to ask you more questions, understand what your goals are, and then we'll be able to pivot and lead you to that destination.
Yes. Can you just say in Kreyol for people, just this part like that you were saying, that the program where you can at the same time be ou capable yon moun ki posede yon kay, ou moun kap investi nan kay lan, et puis yon moun kap loué kay lan.
Yes. So ça relè, en anglais c'est triple threat, nous relè ça. En créole.
Bon, pas besoin de dire en créole, mais
it's still triple threat.
Yeah.
Mais Jean, Naed, ça m'a expliqué Naed avec Candice, c'est pour moun qui t'a remè acheter kay, qui t'a remè commencer investir dans le domaine real estate là, ça conseil que nous remè bay client nous c'est penser des multifamily, comme en duplex, triplex ou bien en quad. Parce que l'on achète une kay sa yo, what happens is it's still the same 3.5% down. Same percentage down sous son FHA buyer. Même quantité cob ou t'as payé, mais pas même quantité cob depending on the price point, but c'est même pourcentage ou t'as payé sous t'as acheté un single family home or a townhome. If you're an FHA buyer, it's still 3.5% down.
Ça c'est si on fait investissement ou bien si on pas.
Oui, si on fait investissement. So why not strategically purchase a multifamily, acheter un duplex, parce que vous avez toujours mis 3.5% down, 3.5%, et puis kounya ou c'est ou your homeowner ou son medkay, and also kounya ou son
investisseur.
Oui, the name escapes me. Wap gen locataire. So you're a landlord, kounya ou ka loué lot cham kay yo, OK? Et puis après ça, 75% des cob que wap entrer dans men locataire yo, y a utilisé ça comme income sous nombre de cob que wap fait kounya wap bin qualifié pour plus cob. Avant nous mettre au nom en duplex, triplex ou bien en quad, n'a fait recherche pour voir combien cob dans zone ça que ou ka fait dans rent. C'est réellement important. So par exemple, nous gagnons une client nous t'a aidé qui t'a fait ça, nous t'a regardé, nous t'a fait recherche, nous t'a voir que rent qui a rentré plus dans chaque unit yo is going to be 80%, la couvrir 80% mortgage yo. So that means you're only coming to the table with 20%. That's a blessing. And other times, depending in certain markets, because some rents are higher in certain cities than others, depending on the place, you can have your entire mortgage paid for and or even have some profit left in your pocket, and you can use that as spending money, or you can allocate those funds to another investment. what we typically tell people to do after a certain period of time, you can refinance, pull out the equity, buy another property. And that way, this is your way of starting your real estate investing portfolio. You start with your multifamily. From there, you take out the equity and you can continue to buy. It's like a BRRRR method. That's for investing, where you buy, I believe it's buy, refinance, rent, rinse, and repeat, and you just continue to do that until you get your desired home. So some people do the 4-3-2-1 method. You buy a quad, take the money out, then you buy a quad is a fourplex, so 4-unit. Then you take the equity from that, you buy a triplex, do the same thing until all of those properties pays for your dream
home.
Family home. Yeah.
I like
Very
it.
interesting.
I love to hear the passion. Clearly, you love what it is that you do. Talk to me a little bit more about the associations. I know that you are the founder of one of the associations.
Yeah.
What drove you to do that? What was missing in the market that made you realize that something more needed to be done in our community?
Yeah, so as you guys can see on my pins, I don't know if you guys can see them, but one of them I am representing today with the Palm, Miami. I'm a part of the Miami Association of Realtors. We are the largest real estate association in the U.S. We have well over 53,000 members, and I serve on one of the boards. We have multiple boards, and on the Young Professionals Network board, which is right there, I am one of the leaders, and I'm the only Haitian on the board. So it's an honor to be there. Being a part of that organization has helped me with my speaking, has given me more exposures, has expanded my horizons. Right now, I'm actually in the process of preparing for the first ever Kreyol speaking training class.
Yes.
So the
Ooh,
association's
love that.
been around for 105 years, and God led me at the perfect timing to do this. This is going to be the first time that it's done. There are classes in Spanish, so this will be the first Kreyol class. We're going to roll out a series in January, so I'll be back to promote that, because we want to share more of our culture and to help more immobilier haitiens so that they could be more equipped, and then by them learning more information, then we can close the wealth gap in our community. So that's Miami Association of Realtors. I am also here, I have my Haiti pin on, representing Haitian Real Estate Professionals Association. I am one of the co-founders, and I serve as the secretary. We're in our infancy. We've been around for 2.5 years, but we've done so much, and we're really mighty. The purpose of that organization is, again, to be the mouthpiece for the Haitian diaspora community, to share more information on real estate and to close the wealth gap in our communities. Our focus is building the professionals. So the more resources, the more knowledge, the more educated, and doing professional development with them, and share that information and help them out. So far we've been on various platforms, like various media platforms like Island TV, Giveaway. We had a very successful event last year at the Dania Beach Improv with multiple developers, because as sales associate, we make the money, but now it's how do you manage and grow your money? So part of that was to show people how to invest their money in these markets. So we had a developer representative from Miami, a luxury condo that's being built in Miami. We also had someone from Punta Cana. He's a Haitian, born and raised, yes. Oh, you know him, Marcus Burrow, a Haitian developer that lives in DR that has a $30 million luxury waterfront condo development in Punta Cana, and he was there promoting his project. We also had a representative from Village Nunush, which is a new community that they're building in Okap, which is very nice. They have really nice modern single-family homes that you can invest in. And lastly, another representative from Liberia, Africa, talking about investing in those markets. So we put on events like that. We have lots of networking events throughout the Tri-County so that we can bridge the gap and come together. We've met builders. We've met people in the commercial sector. We've met our network is filled of people that are attorneys, accountants, like any professional person that you can think of in the real estate sector, we have them. That's a part of our network. We have over 300 people on one of our platforms, and we're nationwide. We have members nationwide. We have an event coming up in December, so I look forward to coming back and sharing that with you. It's our first gala, so I'm really excited to just be a part of, to lock arms with professionals like yourself and to create that impact, because you know something that I don't know, and as we continue to come together, we're bridging that gap, and we're being more resourceful and more purposeful for our community.
Yes.
That was long,
I like
but-
that, girl. Very interesting. So now let's talk about like the investment in the real estate sector, specifically for people wanting, to enter that market as like a real estate agent or as like a real estate investor. What would be like the advice? How do we do that? Is it something, is it like a good time, to enter that market?
Yeah, so it really depends on, again, real estate is so vast. There's so many things that you can do, whether you're looking to wholesale a property or if you're looking to just buy a property and to flip it. I've worked with multiple investors. I actually have an investor special, which is a property that's more tailored to investors. That's on the market right now. And what would typically happen is a person would come in, and they would purchase the property cash. They would do some work in the property, like renovate it. We call it, give it a little facelift, and then from there list it and sell it. So that could be very lucrative. Of course, there's a lot that goes into it on the investor side.
So you need to have cash money to do those type of things.
You need to have some type of reserve, not the full amount of money. Most people use what's called a hard money loan.
Yeah.
That's a private loan with a higher interest rate attached to it. So most people use hard money loan. A lot of times in my industry and in the financial world, they use the term OPM, other people's money. So let's say if you had like $1 million in your account, you're not going to use your $1 million to buy a property that's $400,000. No, you're just going to have probably 25% of the $400,000 in your account, and then you're going to get what's called a hard money loan from a private lender so that you can purchase the property cash and then do the renovation with like the money that you have in reserve. So always leverage other people's money is what they do. I work with multiple investors. I have like a database with like about 100 of them. Wholesaling too. Some people decide to do what's called house hacking, which is when you live in the home and you rent out the rooms. So generating income, I know I've seen where even for folks that are in the airline industry, where they live in what's called a crash pad. So when you're either a pilot or a flight attendant, if you're living in a city that's outside of your home, you would rent a room or a bed in a crash pad. So let's say there's 4 rooms. Each room has like 2 beds. So as a flight attendant or a pilot, you would be paying the landlord rent for that room, like $300. So imagine if there's like 4 people living in 4 rooms. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 300, you do the math. That's a lucrative way. So there's different ways that you can be very profitable in real estate. You just have to find your niche, like what sparks you and what is your preferred lane, and just go for it.
What about Airbnb? I feel like a lot of people are into Airbnb, but is it something sustainable? I heard also like bad story about it. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so Airbnb is really, again, with real estate, is to each his own, and it depends on the city, because some cities have very strict guidelines and some cities are embrace Airbnb. So you want to make sure that you're within the city's compliance and you have like your permitting. But Airbnb is very lucrative. To your point, I was at a commercial conference because I'm also a commercial agent. Hence why I'm wearing this pin. There's a lot of developments, as you guys see every day,
everywhere.
in South Florida. Next year, with the World Cup that's coming to Miami, right? They're projected, the event is projected to have a $1.3 billion economic impact in South Florida. That is huge. And they're estimating 1 million people that's going to travel here for those games, right? So they're going to need somewhere to live, right? So Airbnb, having an Airbnb and having the rental or short-term rental opportunities, there's a few luxury condo hotels such as Nativo and other projects that allow short-term rentals for investors. And again, for anyone that's watching this that's interested in short-term rentals, I could assist you with that, where you could position yourself for the influx of money that's about to come to South Florida. We have the boat show that's later on this month. And that's the largest boat show I think it's the second largest boat show in the world, but the first largest boat show in the U.S. It trails after Monaco because Monaco are known for their yachts, but the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show brings in a lot of money to South Florida. A lot of people come here. Art Basel later on this year. So being in South Florida, it brings a lot of people here, a lot of tourists throughout the entire year. We have Formula One. We have Miami Open with the tennis matches. So many sporting events and entertainment. So being an investor, you want to position yourselves for what is to come, the wealth that's about to come here. So yes, it's always a great time.
It's always a great time. Well, we all know that real estate is not always easy. Right. And probably leading with integrity makes you different than most. What would you say would be your greatest challenge that you've encountered within the real estate realm?
Greatest challenge in the profession or working with people?
I would say both. Hit me with both. Let's go.
Okay. So one of the things I would say, I challenge you guys that are watching that are aspiring buyers to have an open mindset. Oftentimes people I don't know if it's because they watch a lot of HGTV, okay? Or if they're just on Instagram a lot and their mindset on their first home is very stringent and they're not open. So there have been times where I'm showing a property and I'm helping the buyer to cast vision, and because the rooms are not as big as they would want it to be, they'll tell me, "Oh, Kayla, I have a king size bed. It can't fit in here, so no." They said no to the home because of that. And I will rebuttal that by saying, can you sell it and buy something smaller? Because again, this is a income producing asset. Yeah. It's going to grow over time, okay? You're going to build equity over time, and it's going to be very lucrative, or you can pass it down to your children. So why would you allow the size of your bed or even making a decision on a countertop? I've had the remarks where, "Oh, Kayla, I don't like the kitchen, I don't like the countertop." My mom used to say, "Fais à midi." Do what you can when you can. If the home is not to your liking, you make the house a home, okay? So you can always redo the floors when you can, when you have additional income. If the bones, the structure, the foundation of the home, the plumbing, the roof, the main ticket items, if they're in good condition, then that should be a green light for you. And if it meets a lot of your non-negotiables, your non-negotiables, your priority items, then go for it. You know, it's closer to your job, close to the highway, close to entertainment, or if you want it to be closer to a specific school that you want your kids to go to, I get that, but just steer away from the limiting beliefs and walk into the process as a visionary with an open mindset, and be open to sister cities, guys. I always tell my people, your starter home is not your forever home. Statistics shows that most homeowners live in their homes for 5 to 7 years, and then life happens. So either they're upgrading or they're moving somewhere. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So just be open. So that's one thing that I'm able to circumvent. Another thing is I care a lot about people. I don't want them to, again, going back to their budget, I'm very big on budget because life happened and having emergency. So what we do in our team is before we go and show you a property, we provide you with some numbers, okay? Because we're going to make decisions based upon numbers. So we tell you what's the estimated cash to close and the estimated mortgage to ensure that it's within your budget, at the closing table, and to ensure that, you still have reserves because there's life after the purchase. You still have to move in. You still have to furnish your home. You may have an emergency. So those are things that are very and key important to me. Sometimes sometimes people appreciate it, and other times they're like, I have money, stop doing that, So
Yeah.
I've learned to like mirror the buyer and to go based upon their speed. I had buyers where it took them a year to buy, and I had other buyers where they flew into town, saw properties for 2 days, we submitted an offer, and we're under contract and close in less than 30 days.
That's my dad. My dad literally, he went to the house. He was like, yeah, it looks like it has good bones. And then that was it. Yeah. He bought it the next day.
It's really to each his own. Everyone's experience is different. So don't think that your experience is going to be the same as your pastor, as your doctor, as your best friend, as your significant other. No, your experience is different. So again, be open.
Yes. So now we're going to go to a quick fire round questions.
Okay, cool.
Very quick. And so you starting?
No, you got it.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Oh,
don't like coffee at all.
I'm a tea person too.
I'm a coffee person, just for the record. What book have you read that changed your life?
This is not cliche, but the Bible.
It's cliche. We're going to ask for a second one.
So let me tell you why. Because we go to the same church, Naed and I, and now being in ministry, we have to submit do devotionals every day, and it requires to read certain chapters, like a chapter a day, from the Bible, and it has been so insightful for me as far as business, influence, favor, how to pray, how to, generational blessings, generational curses. So the Bible has been very insightful. And aside from that Bible right now, I'm reading One Thing. I don't remember the name.
Oh, yes, I'm reading that too.
Oh, my God.
The One Thing, right?
Yes, The One Thing. I don't remember the name of the author.
Me too.
But that book is super phenomenal because it's rewiring your mindset and letting you, helping you to streamline what is it that you have to do today that's going to push that needle forward and have a domino effect that's going to help you to get closer to your goals. So being more streamlined and being more focused, because there's so many distractions. Even as I was driving here, oh my gosh, the billboards, the cars, and all this stuff, it's like, Kayla, focus. So the One Thing is very pivotal.
I might have to check that out.
Mm-hmm. An advice that somebody gave you that changed your perspective on life?
So what I would say in this season, what I'm learning goes back to the Bible, guard your heart. I used to just think that, I thought that was for relationship purposes, but I'm realizing guarding your heart is important overall. Guard your heart when it comes to your boundaries. Guard your heart because it can invoke emotions which will lead to actions, which will lead to decisions that can affect you long term. So, for example, guarding your heart meaning as you're driving on the road, someone honks at you and cuts through, instead of, reacting, you're going to guard your heart. I was going to say,
I can tell you what my reaction is, but
you're going to guard that heart and just keep it going, because some people do experience road rage, okay? Mm-hmm. Guarding your heart in instead of doing things impulsively or going on a shopping spree when you know that you have to save for something that's bigger. Everything happens in seasons in life, and it's okay if you can't buy that designer bag or go to Dubai or Saint-Tropez with your friends. That's okay. Everything happens in season. So guard your heart and understand the season that you're in, and know that in due time you'll be able to go on those trips just because it's Tuesday, not because it's a birthday. So guarding your heart has been very effective for me in different ways.
Okay. Take it back 10 years. I'm going to say 10 years because I'm assuming you're younger than me. What advice would you give to your younger self, or maybe another young entrepreneur or aspiring real estate agent? What advice would you give them?
Very good. So 10 years ago, I believe I was studying abroad in China.
You studied in China?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
My degree is in international business. So I was studying abroad in China, and what I would say is live your life as if it's the only life that you have. I realized that some people, Les Brown said it. He said that some people die at 25 and wait to get buried at 65. So what that means is that they're just living life like zombies, not purposeful, just because. And they wait till the weekend to have a good time. But live your life with purpose and be consistent in everything that you do, whether it's consistent in showing up for your loved ones or consistent with working out, or consistent with whatever you said that you were going to do it today. Do not wait until tomorrow. My mom used to say, "Sugon bagay pou fè, fèl."
Yeah.
Because time will go by. Like, we're already in October. Can you imagine?
yes.
October is almost done. The year is almost done. Now, this Friday, which is the event that I was going to share with you guys, we're going to...
Can you please put the flyer up?
Yeah, so this Friday, we're having our, yes, there we go. We're having our Think, Plan, Execute Goal Setting Masterclass, because we're getting ready for 2026 now. We don't get ready for 2026 on January 1st. No, we do that now. And this is open to all salespersons, all entrepreneurs, because you're going to receive the rubric, the blueprint on what to do to execute. What are you doing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, so that you can get to that goal that you have, and what worked this year, whether it was media or social media, or making phone calls, or showing up and networking and increasing your network, just measuring what you did this year that worked and what didn't work, and then implementing new things, because I believe the saying says insanity is doing something the same time thinking that you're going to have a different outcome. No. So I would say to the younger Kayla and other young entrepreneurs, bet on yourself. You know, you are your own rescue. You got what it takes. God instilled it in you already. You just need it to be unlocked. So believe in yourself, bet in yourself, surround yourself with high achieving people. You know, if your friends are not high achieving, either you change your friends or change your friends. Okay, because time waits for no one.
I'm with you on that one.
Time waits for no one. And you are needed in this world. You serve a divine purpose. You're alive for a reason. You serve a divine purpose. So act upon it and live it. Walk in your authority. You are the authority. So continue believing yourself. You are your own rescue. No one's coming to rescue you. You are your own rescue. Trust in God and be consistent in all that you do. Even with one thing I would share that I struggled with is food. Hello. I buy a lot of food, especially with my lifestyle. Prior to coming here, I had another event, and it's just, I'm always on the road throughout the Tri-County. So I buy food out a lot, but then it gets expensive.
It's very expensive.
The other day I was craving chicken wings, and I was like, I'm going to order from a Haitian restaurant, and they told me $26. Wendy, $20 for chicken wings and bun and pizza and dili. I said, oh no. And she said, Madame, vous voulez ou bien pas voulez? Of course I need it. I have a Zoom and I can't cook. Like, ma'am, I need the food. But that was an eye-opening to me that, Kayla, you need to cook, okay? You're an aspiring wife, ma'am, so you need to cook. So now I'm going to have a cooking series in the kitchen with KR, so stay tuned for that. Where I'm going to be learning, yes, honestly and truly, I'm going to be learning from one of my friends. She has a catering business. It's called Kaabela. I'm going to kick off the series at her place where she's going to teach me how to cook like Haitian food. My cousin does a phenomenal job cooking snappers. I'm the middle child. My older sister and younger sisters are phenomenal cooks. So I'm going to be learning from them. And even like other cuisine, like Hispanic food, my board members told me they would teach me, because I need to know these things. So because I love to host. I want to host people over. And also I'm an inspiring wife. What is that man going to eat? McDonald's every day? Absolutely not.
Kayla,
dry pasta with butter.
Kayla, we loved you. I really love like the conversation with you. It was really inspiring.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. You've been a lovely guest, and you can absolutely come back anytime.
So much passion.
I know. No, I love it. This is going to continue after. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for another episode of Strive 305 in Kreyol. We will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.